Hello and welcome to this video series on Java methods. In this series of videos, we'll first focus on why we should modularize our programs. We'll dig into the structure of a method and discuss some of the reserved keywords used in methods. And then we'll code out a program that implements user-defined methods. And then we'll also look at utilizing some of the methods from the Java standard library. Last but not least, we'll discuss some best practices in terms of how we would design our methods. All right, methods. All right. When it comes to using methods, we have to recognize that we've been using methods all along. The main method. So up until this point, we've been writing all of our code in the main method. When you are just starting off in programming, writing all of your code in the main method is okay because we are learning the syntax and the structure of programming. But as we gradually increase in our understanding of programming, the amount of code in our main method will gradually decrease. So take a look at this example here. So here I have two programs. One program, both of the programs pretty much function the same. The only difference is that one code base utilizes methods and the other has code that only exists in the main method. Again, as we grow in our understanding of coding, we want to begin to think in a modular way. So what is the purpose of methods and why move in this direction? So before I answer that question, let's take a look at this program on the right here, right? This is what we've been doing up until this point where we've been writing all of our statements inside of the opening bracket and the closing bracket of the main method. And again, as we increase in our understanding, our code should begin to decrease in the amount of code or statements in our code in our main method should decrease. So you'll see in our main method here, we just have 3 statements and we're calling these various methods. And we'll talk more about this in the videos in this series. But these programs function the same and they achieve the same objective in terms of asking the end user for a number, guessing a number, how many methods that was used to modularize this program, and then it basically ends with program is ending. But take a minute, observe the code, and look at the difference between the two. This one here, how many methods do we have in the program? We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and we have 4. But it's the main method that actually invokes the rest of the methods that we have in this particular program. So jumping back to our PowerPoint slide, a method performs a task, a specific task. And you want to think in that particular mindset of how do I begin to modularize my program in such a way that it performs a specific task. You're going to see this big word here, implementation hiding. What does that mean? It keeps the details of the method's operations hidden. And so we'll talk more about this when we get to object-oriented programming. But the things within our the statements within our method, we can hide them for the rest of our program, or we can keep them separate from the rest of our program, and we can expose them to different parts of our program, our overall program. So here's some reasons of why we should modularize our program. 1, it's easier to debug. 2, we can reuse code, so it makes the code reusable. And then also for readability and reliability. So if you look back at this program, you'll see that we named the method generate welcome, get favorite num, and then we have closing statement. And typically I put a comment above each of these methods, but these methods perform a specific task. So the generate welcome message, it only basically generates a welcome message that says welcome to this video series. This get favorite num, this gets a number of get the number of guesses in terms of how many methods. And then this last one here, closing statement, this basically outputs program is ending. So going back to our PowerPoint slide here, again, it's easier to debug and test. There's something called unit testing that we can implement into our programs and test our code. And then also if you have a method that does the same thing multiple times in your program, we can reuse it. We can just call that method at any time. And then also for readability and reliability. So when somebody else is reviewing your program, you can just quickly go back and see the various methods that would achieve some type of objective. So stay tuned, and we're going to get into the dynamics of method anatomy and beginning to understand the method header, the method body, and some of the reserved keywords.